I'm back at the shop. It's been almost a week. There's the train. Only going to be a character on the channel for a little bit longer because I am moving right now. That's why it's been almost a week since I last recorded that video where the car is finally running well. So I have a serpentine belt so I can do the alternator now, but as you can tell, this place is like a mess because I worked my ass off getting all that stuff done and then just left before cleaning up because I didn't have any time. And there is my charger for my camera. Awesome, so that means I can record a whole video here. So I'm gonna pull the Camaro out of the shop and start cleaning, and then I can work on getting the alternator wired in. It's very simple. It's basically one wire to the battery, another wire to, I'll have to look up the diagram again, but one of these spade connectors on the box there, and then the alternator should function. So let's get to work. This place is a giant mess and it needs to not be. I'm also, since I'm moving into a place with a garage. I'm not gonna have the shop anymore, so a bunch of this stuff I need to pull out and take pictures of and like list for sale and stuff because I don't need it anymore, and I just have way too much crap. I mean, I've got like wheels in there, I got wheels up there, I got manifolds, more manifolds, heads, flywheels, an engine, a transmission, a whole car that needs to get rid of. I got all sorts of shit that needs taken care of. So I'm gonna start doing that today. Man, that Camaro runs good. If only it made more than like 170 horsepower. The flies are real in here right now. I just got attacked. Cleaned up a little bit. There's a pile of trash and crap over here. And took a little break and wired in the alternator. I didn't record it because it's such a simple task. And I wanted to make sure I sort of got it right before I recorded anything. So basically with these Subaru wires, you have 3 wires. You've got the, well technically it's 2 that come off of the positive post on the alternator, but I'm just calling that 1. You've got another thick white one that comes off of the plug, right there, and then you've got a black and white wire that comes off that plug. And you can see the, if you're looking at the back of the alternator, the right one is the one that is the white wire, and then the left wire is the one that's the black and white. So in order to wire it correctly, all 3 white wires are going to go to your battery, like so. You can also go to your starter, where the battery connects to the starter, just whatever is easier or cleaner, whatever you want to do. The black and white wire in a 914 is going to go to your relay board, to that spade connector right there. There's 3. When looking at it from the back, it is the top right, next to this big relay thing up here. That connects to your alternator light, and it will excite the alternator in order to get it started and charging right away. So let's plug it in and, or not plug it in, start it up and see if it's charging. There we go, 14.5 volts, that's plenty. Perfect. I can't believe how well this thing starts up. It's running a little rich because it's got no oxygen sensor, so it's just yeah, running rich, but that's fine. It's better than running lean. Now that the charging system is working with the Subaru alternator, I can go return that GM1 wire, which, yeah, basically that alternator still would have worked with this. This just makes it real easy, and the tensioner works perfectly. Let's see, what was the part number for the belt so that I can tell you guys. 273K5, which if you want to order it, you actually have to look up this part number from AutoZone. It's 5PK0695. And that one's perfect if you're running a Subaru alternator on the stock tensioner without running the power steering pump with it. So now that I have all of that situated, I'm going to get the throttle cable situated, which it should just bolt on because it's just bolted on before. But I guess we're gonna see. That should sort of get it ready to drive. I'm gonna probably hook up some gauges as well. Maybe the tachometer. So I'll probably hook up the temp gauge and possibly the tachometer as well would be nice to have. So I might rip those out. The temp gauge is easy because it's just right there, but the tachometer will have to come out of the dash. That is gonna be, I forget which wire it is, the green or the purple, but the tachometer is the blue and black. So yeah, this is nice and simple. I really like this. This is making me way happier than Mega Squirt is, because it actually runs now. Yeah, I'd like to have the temp gauge though, so I know that it's not getting hot or anything, because I do not want to cook this engine and then have to do a head gasket. So, yeah. Throttle cable is hooked up just with the stock Subaru bracket and the stock Porsche throttle cable, so I'm gonna go take it for a drive. I'm bringing my scan tool just so I can check on anything. But yeah, gonna go take it for a cruise and see how it does. Oh my god, it feels amazing. It is so fun already. This is so fun. Oh my god, I am so excited right now. I can smell some things, I can hear some things, I don't care. Okay, it died on me, but it's all good now. And I'm back at the shop. It rips. Okay, so the car rips, but the starter solenoid doesn't want to work. Now I know it's not a battery because I can jump from the battery to the solenoid. Starts right up perfect. And I know it's not the ignition switch because it did this originally when I was on the old Subaru ECU with the hack job wiring harness. I think what it is that switch does not output enough amperage in order to both power this wire, which is going to the ECU, as well as the starter solenoid. It works sometimes, but most of the time it won't actually trigger the starter solenoid. So what I'm going to do is just wire a toggle switch to the starter and to the battery so I can start it, because it sucks getting stuck in an intersection and your car's dead and you have to jump out and jump right with the wire. So I'm going to do that and then do it for some more runs. After driving it around for a little while, temp was at 160, it's coming down now. I'm going to wire in the fans as well so that those work, and then drive it around some more and see how it does. It is so much fun though, it drives great. You know, it's a good day when you can put fuel in the car without using gas cans. This is amazing. It drives it's so fun. It's still, I mean, it's not fast, but it's, in first gear it's decently quick. Everywhere else it's like an improved Miata. So it started raining a little bit, not anything crazy, but enough to where I didn't want to be driving around too much. Getting all this stuff wet, obviously. So I figured I could continue work. Importantly will be, or the next important things that I want to do are temp gauge and tachometer. My fuel, what is this thing? Fuel gauge isn't working for some reason, so I might dig in and see what the heck is going on in there. And I have plans for the speedometer. It's cable driven, so that comes off the transmission originally, so obviously something has to happen sort of clever there for that to work. But I do have plans for that in the future. I just need to do a little more research. But this guy, if I pop it out, maybe if it's even possible to pop out. Here. Let's see, on the back, all we got is a positive, and they're all marked conveniently. Positive, ground, and then this one has a little sign on it, which I imagine that is the signal. So I'm just gonna wire those in. I'm gonna wire them in the switch that the, what do you call this thing, wideband, that the wideband is going off of, so that it comes on with the wideband gauge, and then that should work. And I'll be able to, basically what I'm gonna have to do, because obviously this car was air cooled originally, and this was made for, I imagine, cylinder head temperature. So I'll have to watch my temperature on my scan tool from the OBD2 port and figure out where like operating temperature is on this gauge. I'll see what it ends up being, but then I can know when it's getting too hot based on that. It was running right around like 194 though the whole time I was driving, so that's pretty good. It's cooling okay just with the fans on without even the front end being cut out. If I pushed it hard, I know it would get hot, but it's doing good so far, so I'm pretty happy. So yeah, let's get this guy wired in. So I ended up making it even more simple. I found my harness from the original car, and I just plugged it in the original spot. And now, let's see, when I turn the key on, you see it turns on. Now the car isn't warm, so it isn't coming on, but even the volt gauge is working, which is cool. Good thing to have. Let's see if it actually works proper. Sweet! Perfect. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know what it's actually putting out, but it's putting out 14.5, so I don't know how accurate this gauge is, but at least I'll know if I'm charging or not, because it'll be above 12. Now we'll just have to wait and see if this one works at a future point, because I'm all out of time today and I'm heading out of the shop. But actually, my fuel gauge randomly started working, so that's cool. Next video, we'll probably drive it some more. I'm gonna wire in the tach and get that thing working, hopefully, because it would be nice to actually know what RPMs I'm at. I don't know how far I've been revving it out, but yeah. That's never gonna get old. Ever.